Imagine a life, not lived but constructed.
Anyone can see I care, the way I hold your hand.
A masterpiece of glamour, carefully sculpted from the fragments of a broken past.
Darling, I'm sick of the idea of not being able to go anywhere or do anything without the written consent of my mother. I'm tired of being treated like a child. I'm going to bed.
A name whispered in awe, a face immortalized in light. But beneath the dazzling facade, a different story beats, a heart yearning for something real, something true. We see the icon, but do we truly know the woman? The girl who was once just Norma Jeane. Her journey began not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, a forgotten whisper before she became the loudest scream in Hollywood.
Miss Marina, I'm falling off to leap to conclusion.
I don't have to do any leaping to this conclusion. I can just walk straight there, and I'm walking.
Tonight, we peel back the layers, not to tarnish a legend, but to understand the profound human cost of becoming Marilyn Monroe. Welcome back to the Vintage Icons. Today, we're diving deep into a story that has captivated generations, a life shrouded in both dazzling light and profound shadow. The incredible transformation of Norma Jeane Mortenson into Marilyn Monroe. We think we know Marilyn, right? The breathy voice, the iconic dresses, the endless allure.
I was shivering in the storm. I walked in and...
But what if I told you that the Marilyn we celebrate was in many ways a carefully crafted persona, a brilliant defense mechanism against a world that had, for so long, failed Norma Jeane? The fragile beginnings. To truly understand Marilyn, we have to go back, way back, to June 1st, 1926, in Los Angeles, California, when a little girl named Norma Jeane Mortenson entered the world. Her early life was, to put it mildly, tumultuous. Her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, struggled with mental health issues, making Norma Jeane's childhood a heartbreaking carousel of foster homes and temporary guardians. According to biographer Donald Spoto, whose comprehensive work, Marilyn Monroe, the biography, draws heavily from extensive interviews and previously unreleased documents, Norma Jeane experienced at least 11 different placements before the age of 16. Imagine that instability, never truly knowing where home was, never truly feeling secure. One of the most significant periods was with Grace Goddard, a close friend of her mother's, who became a crucial, albeit complicated figure in her young life. Grace instilled in Norma Jeane an early fascination with movies, a potent seed planted in fertile, if often lonely, ground. Marriage and the factory. The instability reached a pivotal point when, at just 16 years old, Norma Jeane married her 21-year-old neighbor, James Dougherty. This wasn't a grand romance in the Hollywood sense. It was, for Norma Jeane, an escape, a way to avoid returning to an orphanage when Grace Goddard's husband was transferred. Dougherty, in interviews documented in Anthony Summers' Goddess, The Secret Lives of Marilyn Monroe, described her as a shy, quiet girl. But the world had other plans. As World War II raged, Jim joined the Merchant Marine, deploying overseas. Norma Jeane, now Mrs. James Dougherty, needed to contribute to the war effort. She took a job at Radioplane Company, a factory inspecting parachutes and spraying airplane parts. It was here, amidst the machinery and the grease, that fate intervened in the form of a photographer named David Conover. He was capturing images of women contributing to the war effort, and he spotted Norma Jeane. His photos, initially meant to boost morale, captured something undeniable, a raw, natural beauty that simply radiated from her. The birth of a starlet. Those photographs were her accidental audition. Soon she was leaving the factory for modeling gigs. But the modeling world demanded more than just a pretty face. It demanded a presence, This is where the conscious crafting of an icon truly began. She dyed her hair blonde, a choice that would become her signature. In 1946, she signed her first studio contract with a 20th Century Fox, and it was here that Norma Jeane Mortenson ceased to exist, at least publicly. With the help of studio executive Ben Lyon, she chose a new name. Marilyn, inspired by Broadway star Marilyn Miller, and Monroe, her mother's maiden name. It was a rebirth, a strategic renaming, detailed in Sarah Churchwell's The Many Lives of Marilyn Monroe, designed to erase the past and create a blank canvas for Hollywood to project its dreams upon. The grind and the gleam. But the transformation wasn't instant, nor was it easy. Early roles were small, often uncredited. She worked tirelessly, attending acting classes, tirelessly studying her craft. She understood that natural beauty wasn't enough. She needed to project a persona. She famously studied how other actresses moved, spoke, and held themselves. This wasn't just about becoming an actress. It was about becoming Marilyn. The breakthrough really began with The Asphalt Jungle in 1950, a small but memorable role that caught the eye of critics and audiences. Then came All About Eve in the same year, where she played a dizzy young actress. These roles, while minor, allowed her to showcase a unique blend of vulnerability and nascent sensuality. Slowly, steadily, the public image solidified. The blonde bombshell was emerging. The breathy voice, which many believe she cultivated to overcome a childhood stutter, became her trademark. As detailed in Carl Rollison's biography, Marilyn Monroe, A Life of the Actress, this period was a grueling ascent, requiring immense self-discipline and an almost obsessive focus on cultivating her on-screen magnetism. Iconic roles and global fame. By the mid-1950s, Marilyn Monroe was no longer just a starlet. She was a global phenomenon. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953, cemented her status as a comedic powerhouse and a sex symbol. Her performance of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend became and remains one of the most iconic musical numbers in cinematic history. This was followed by How to Marry a Millionaire, 1953, and, of course, The 7-Year Itch, 1955, which gave us that white dress moment, a shot so instantly recognizable it transcends time and culture. Marilyn Monroe was everywhere. Her face adorned magazines. Her name was on everyone's lips. She was the embodiment of Hollywood glamour, a dream factory come to life. But behind the dazzling success, Norma Jeane was still there, grappling with the immense pressure and the sometimes conflicting demands of the persona she had created. The inner world and the actor's studio. Despite the outward success, Marilyn was deeply insecure about her acting abilities and yearned to be taken seriously as an artist. She was tired of being typecast as the dumb blonde. In a bold move, she left Hollywood in 1955, abandoning her lucrative 20th Century Fox contract, to study at the prestigious Actors Studio in New York City with Lee Strasberg. Strasberg, a legendary acting coach, recognized her immense talent, often stating that she was a genius. This period was crucial for her artistic growth. According to Strasberg himself, as quoted in David M. Schwartz's Marilyn Monroe, the Actress, she possessed a raw, emotional honesty that few other performers could match. She wanted depth, complexity, and the opportunity to prove she was more than just a pretty face. This desire for artistic validation speaks volumes about the woman beneath the star. Marilyn and the Intellectuals. While in New York, Marilyn also pursued a quieter, more intellectual life, surrounding herself with artists and writers. But her personal life remained a whirlwind. Her marriage to baseball legend Joe DiMaggio in 1954 was a media circus. It was a fascinating pairing. The all-American sports hero and the ultimate Hollywood siren. Initially, There was hope for a normal life, away from the Hollywood glare that Joe so despised. However, their personalities clashed profoundly. DiMaggio reportedly struggled with Marilyn's fame and the constant attention she garnered. 7-Year Itch, subway great scene, filmed just months after their wedding. According to numerous biographers, including Spoto, a huge argument erupted on set. Their marriage lasted only 9 months. Their divorce, filed on grounds of mental cruelty, highlighted the immense difficulty Marilyn faced in finding a conventional relationship amidst her extraordinary celebrity. Joe wanted a wife. The world demanded Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn and the intellectuals, Arthur Miller. Then came Arthur Miller, the acclaimed playwright. Their marriage in 1956 seemed on the surface like a perfect match. The intellectual titan and the glamorous star, both seeking authenticity. Marilyn saw in Miller a stability and intellectual stimulation she desperately craved, and Miller was captivated by her vulnerability and intelligence. She embraced domesticity, even learning to cook. He wrote the screenplay for her in what would become her final completed film, The Misfits, 1961. It was a deeply personal project, with Miller intending it as a love letter, showcasing her true acting abilities. However, the pressures of her fame, her insecurities, and his own struggles with her mental health and drug dependency ultimately strained their relationship. Filming The Misfits was notoriously difficult, marked by delays and emotional turmoil. Miller himself, in his autobiography, Time Bends a Life, describes the agonizing unraveling of their relationship during this period. They divorced in 1961, marking another profound personal loss for Marilyn. Throughout her life, Marilyn battled immense personal demons: the early childhood trauma, the constant scrutiny of fame, the pressure to maintain an impossible image. It all took a devastating toll. She suffered from severe anxiety, depression, and chronic insomnia. To cope, she relied heavily on prescription medications, barbiturates, amphetamines, a common but ultimately destructive practice in Hollywood at the time. According to Dr. Ralph Greenson, her psychiatrist, as documented in various biographies, Marilyn was deeply introspective, but also incredibly fragile. She yearned for genuine connection and validation, often feeling like no one truly saw Norma Jeane, only the facade of Marilyn Monroe. The weight of this double life was crushing. The early 1960s were a period of intense struggle and fleeting highs. Her last major public appearance was her iconic performance of Happy Birthday, Mr. President for John F. Kennedy in May 1962. It was a dazzling, unforgettable moment. But beneath the sparkle, her health was deteriorating. She was attempting a comeback with the film Something's Got to Give, but production was plagued by her frequent absences due to illness. She was fired, then rehired, but the writing was tragically on the wall. The studio's patience was wearing thin, and Marilyn's personal struggles were becoming increasingly difficult to manage. The tragic end. On August 4th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Brentwood home. The official cause of death was ruled as acute barbiturate poisoning, classified as a probable suicide. She was just 36 years old. A respectful, quiet image, perhaps a black and white portrait of Marilyn looking pensive. Her death sent shockwaves across the globe and immediately fueled countless conspiracy theories, which continue to this day. However, according to the findings of the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, as detailed in reports from the time and corroborated by extensive investigations by biographers like Fred Lawrence Giles in Norma Jeane, The Life of Marilyn Monroe, there was no definitive evidence of foul play. The narrative of her life, unfortunately, led to a tragic conclusion, amplified by her known struggles with addiction and mental health. More than 60 years after her death, Marilyn Monroe remains an unparalleled cultural icon. Her image is instantly recognizable, her films are still watched, and her life continues to inspire endless fascination, debate, and empathy. She paved the way for actresses to embrace their sexuality, while also yearning for artistic respect. Her influence on fashion, photography, and pop culture is immeasurable. From Madonna to Lady Gaga, countless artists have drawn inspiration from her magnetic presence and her ability to command attention. She transcended mere celebrity. She became an archetype. So what can we take away from the story of Marilyn Monroe? It's a powerful reminder that behind every dazzling image, there's a complex human being. Norma Jeane created Marilyn Monroe as a shield, a means of survival, and ultimately a vehicle for her immense talent. But the persona grew so large, so demanding, that it often overshadowed the woman who created it. Her life is a testament to resilience, artistic ambition, and the profound cost of fame. She chased authenticity in a world that demanded artifice, yearning for love and acceptance, while constantly being adored by millions who, paradoxically, never truly knew her. Her story is a poignant exploration of identity. How much of ourselves do we reveal, and how much do we hide to navigate the world? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the life of Marilyn Monroe. Her story continues to resonate because it speaks to the universal human experience of seeking connection, identity, and meaning. What are your thoughts on Marilyn's incredible transformation and enduring legacy? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content like this, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive.